What next? What next after the 85 episodes of Robotech? We have a new series that's currently in production, Robotech Shadow Force. Up till lately, we've been really tight-lipped about this product, and as 10 minutes from now, the Robotech website has actually been set up to automatically update itself so that there will be a 4th section added to the Robotech saga.
Did you hear it?
Now, one of the things, it was a really big challenge to get this project put together. We had the first concept put together 2 years ago at 2000, and we first announced that we were going to start work on this. And one of the challenges that we had to overcome was the loss of all the infrastructure that we had in producing Robotech back in 1985. Back in 2000, there was actually a product in the wings to create Robotech 3000, a completely CG series that would be produced within the United States. However, a lot of fans correctly observed that all the anime flavor had just gone away from the roots of this project. And so, of course, the right thing to do was take it back to the original Japanese studio that had produced Robotech in the first place, which was Tatsunoko Productions. And so you'll see the folks here at Tatsunoko, and one of the big changes within the studio over the 20 years was that they've gone completely digital with their production. And it's a lot of back and forth, enormous amounts of planning with Tatsunoko, sometimes in Japan, sometimes in the United States. And of course, a lot of traveling and a lot of weight gain. And this was the website yesterday. And of course, if you check the website today, you're going to have a new section added to the website. Of course, effective 10 minutes from now. Now, there's one hitch to this new section. If you want to start checking out the piecemeal teasers as they start coming out on Robotech.com, you have to be signed in as a Robotech.com member. So this is something that we're putting together exclusively for Robotech.com fans. And of course, this is the section that we've put together. All of you who have seen all the other Robotech sections for the Macross Saga New Generation are familiar with this format. And of course, this is in the process of growth, and you're going to get to this is going to be the place to find out about the new production as it gets put together. And of course, this project is still actually about a year away from a release date, even though we had previously projected a 2004 release. Currently, with our production facilities all focused on releasing Robotech Remastered, realistically, 2005, the 20th anniversary of Robotech, is our target release date for this project. So I'd like to thank you fans for attending this very first announcement, and we've got 10 minutes, so we've just got enough time for Q&A.
You're still there?
All right, please stand up if you've got questions to ask. The gentleman in the gray shirt at the aisle. Lights, please. Oh, yes. Actually, we had announced that we are able to release Macross the movie as a product. Now, there's some of you who've read conflicting news reports back in 2002, and some people thought that actually Harmony Gold's rights over Macross had expired. As a matter of fact, Harmony Gold no longer had the rights to release Robotech. And actually, when we read those news reports, we were actually kind of bummed because we had thought, well, gosh, we wouldn't like our flagship products' rights to expire. So we actually did some research into the underlying rights of Robotech, and we found that the rights were actually divided between the original 2 producers of the Macross series, Big West and Tatsunoko Productions, Japan, rest of the world. And we had actually acquired the rest of the world license from Tatsunoko Productions. So in effect, those rights are unable to expire. Now, the other thing that we had never researched before was, we actually became curious at that point, what of the rights of Macross the movie? This is one of those products where everybody in the anime industry knows about it, but nobody has ever been able to find a straightforward release in the US market. It's always had to be these oddball gray market releases. One thing we discovered during discussion with Tatsunoko Productions was, to our great surprise, was it was governed under a very similar contract, which was Macross the movie's merchandising rights were divided, Japan, rest of the world, and actually, for the last 20 years, nobody bothered to contact Tatsunoko Productions. And so we had actually scooped up those rights, and so we currently control the merchandising rights for Macross the movie in the United States.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Still there, right?
Yes.
Ugh. You're asking a question. I can't hear it.
No, it was a joint production in a similar fashion to the TV series. As a matter of fact, if you look at the credits for the executive producers are Yoshimasa Onishi and Kenji Yoshida. And those two individuals are actually the heads of, correspondingly, Big West and Tatsunoko Productions. And so it was a joint production at the time. Now, in the case of the TV series, to follow up on your first question, there's actually a series of cases and it hasn't resolved itself. However, the original case was 41 illustrations that predated the production of the Macross television series. The copyright to those 41 illustrations were actually awarded not to Big West. As far as I know, they were awarded to Studio Nui because they had first created those illustrations starting back in 1980, predating the Macross series. However, as soon as the series went into production starting in 1982, it was under a production company, which was Tatsunoko Productions, and under standards and practices in anime at the time. The copyright of that was awarded by not just any court, but by the Japanese Supreme Court to Tatsunoko Productions. So they own the television show and all the economic rights associated with that. And at this point, I understand those appeals have been exhausted.
Do we have any fun
we're out of time, so we got to barrel through this really quick. All right, next gentleman. Oh, we're over? Oh, okay.
Damn.
Okay, we're very sorry. We're actually over. These guys need to set up for the next show.
Characters finally get worked out. So we have a creative way to work around it in the Robotech side.
And one last question regarding Shadow Force. Is Carl going to be?
You know what? We had early feedback from Carl. We've gone back to Carl, but obviously Carl is in Texas with with us.
Of course.
Who's the scriptwriter for Shadow Force? We know who the animators are.
Yes. Actually, is LETZ here?
When the series finally comes out, is it coming out on cable network or is it going straight to DVD?
Actually, that's one thing. That's one key element that I left out. Is we were trying to figure out what type of movies we could blast out lots of very short episodes with a lower budget, or have the high budget OVA, but it comes out in dribs and drabs, and you notice where it comes out every 6 months. And we felt the best way to start this off with the band, especially since we're taking extra time to do this in 2005, we're just going to start it off with a feature.